Hey guys, what's going on? X's and O's with Extra Mile. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. We are absolutely excited for this episode. We have been anxiously waiting for this opportunity, and we are so excited. We have Tyler, which is our co-host tonight, with us tonight. Christy is actually not feeling well, but her child is sick, so she's probably not going to be able to make it this evening. So we wish her and her child the best and fast recovery from this awful sicknesses and those things that are going around. So I had it, and I'm sure many other people have as well. So we are actually waiting for our guest. As you know, can't wait to have Mr. Tim from Shine Your Light Detailing. He will be joining us very shortly. And we're excited to have him on. This is going to be a great episode. We're going to have a very open format. As we said, we're going to basically shoot all the questions at Mr. Titan Tim over here and have him share his experiences, his knowledge. Let me just tell you, this gentleman has been in the industry for well over 40 years, a long time. He brings a lot to the detail community. His skill, his just his knowledge, and if you have not seen his work, which I'm sure you have, it's absolutely outstanding. The results and his paint correction ability and the stuff that he brings to the detail community is absolutely awesome. So besides the point that he has developed and he has a product that everyone knows, Mr. Tim's High Gloss Detailer, and myself and my company, use it every day for so many purposes and absolutely amazing products. So we'll definitely talk about that as well. So without further ado, we definitely want to get Titan Tim on. Guys, definitely give him a welcome. We appreciate his time and energy for coming on this evening with us. And we look forward to jumping in and having a great conversation and a great evening this evening. Thank you for those that have joined us. And we look forward to having you guys engage and ask questions. So without further ado, we are going to add our guest. There's the man, Titan Tim himself.
Hey.
How are you, buddy?
How's it going? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you very clear. How are you?
Sweet. Doing great. How about you?
We're doing awesome.
Doing
Great. Doing awesome. And how's Titan Tim doing is the question.
Well, I spent 8 hours of buffer runtime on a Honda Element.
Wow.
Man.
11 total hours and used 19 pads, and I can barely lift my arms.
When was that?
Oh my gosh.
That was 2 days ago.
Oh my goodness.
Just crazy.
Wow. Unreal.
That had to be fun because elements are not new.
Yeah, there's a lot of surface area of paint on those things.
That is unreal.
Yeah.
What color of paint was it that you're working with?
It was a very dark blue, like a navy blue. It was absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
But it was out in the sun a lot, so you kind of had to use finesse with it. And we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff like that. And I mean, we're really going to get into it tonight. And,
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we got some giveaways we're going to do, and we're going to no holds barred on tonight.
I like it. Shoot heavy and shoot hard, as Tim says, dude. No question is held back. So, Tim, it's absolutely amazing. Obviously I've been following in your work and stuff, but I mean, your detailing is just like you said. You just mentioned the detailing that you're doing on that particular element and the amount of time you do. And I'm sure a lot of people kind of seen your work and your time and energy and the things that you do with the detailing, and you do such an outstanding job when it comes to paint correction and stuff. I mean, if you haven't seen his videos on YouTube, on Instagram, my gosh, I mean, from start to finish is just, man, it's just glass finish. I mean, it really is. I mean, it was just absolutely amazing to see the work that you do, and as well the amount of time that you've been in. I mean, you've been in the detailing industry for a long time. I mean, you have, and that's not a bad thing. Like, I mean, I know that you've started way back, when you initially, 16, starting with in the turtle wax era, and I remember it when my brother was, and I was younger, I was able to work and play with that turtle wax, the paste, and the applicator, and putting it on and letting it dry and get crusty and
Getting in all the cracks and crevices.
yeah.
Yep, that's right. All that white chalky stuff. Oh my God,
Yes.
horrible, absolutely
Yes.
horrible. So, but I mean, I started like like 13 or 14 helping my dad out, and but when I got my first, my first car, 72 Cutlass Supreme, that's when I really went to town on that and a 71 Ford. I would go to the auto parts store, which later I worked at, and I would buy rubbing compound and
Yes.
polishing compound.
Yep.
And I remember bringing home both tins of it. It's like, okay, which is which here? It's like, I had to put it on the car and figure out what's what. It's like, okay, use the rubbing compound first, then use the polishing compound, obviously, and then, regular turtle wax.
Absolutely.
And if you go on my Instagram and Facebook, scroll back a few posts, you'll see my graduation picture in 1979 with my 72 Cutlass Supreme.
Yep.
And you can look at my red robe and you can see the reflection off of the paint of my Cutlass. And cars didn't really shine much back then, but you can make out the distinct image of the robe on the side of the car and the top
awesome.
of it. So
Did
yeah.
you ever use the when I worked at the airport like 20 something years ago, we used I think the cutting cream was red. It was in a jug, and I don't know what even brand it was. And then the polish was blue, and then the wax looked like liquid wax, and that's what we used. Same thing, kind of like.
Oh, okay,
What
cool.
do I use?
That's
So-
going way back. So, yeah, I mean it's been a long ride, and and you were talking about kind of knocking it out of the park and stuff like that. But the one saying I like to go by is nobody remembers mediocre.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you're doing a performance review, in your career, it's almost like when you're revealing the car to the customer.
Yep.
I mean, do you want meets expectations
Or exceeds.
or do you want exceeds expectations?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Do you want a C or do you want an A?
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody can do what they want and at various levels, and that's fine. But I'd like to encourage people to start kind of like, experimenting a little bit. Put that extra effort into, what if I tried this instead of this? Or what if I mix these two products together? What would be the outcome?
Yes. That's the interesting part. I mean, and as the products have now increased from that era of products, as we all know in the detail industry, man, there's so many different products, from the liquid waxes to the ceramic coatings to polishes to compounds to, I mean, we could go on and on and on and just talk about them forever. And it's really taken a big change and turn, I think, obviously pretty dramatic for the detail community. And I think it's been a good thing. I mean, I think it's been a huge thing. I think it's improved our results, has improved the longevity of protection with cars and what we're working with. I mean, let's be honest, like the paste wax to being able to use some of the different polishers, the rotary, dual action, whatever you're using has really come a long ways from just sitting there using your hand and trying to get it, it's just, which is, it's good. I mean, it's a good thing. And I think it's brought, the technology in our detail community to a whole nother level, our results and making it easier on us as detailers, which is, obviously incredible and awesome and makes it great for us. But, Tim, my question, you started back when you were obviously young, 16, working with your dad, getting that detail vibe and spark and fire and desire to detail. And I think that's, which is important to know where that came and started from. And then as you continued with that, was detailing something that you drew to and you were passionate and something that you wanted to continue to do, or what took you continued with the detailing, or what was your, I guess, like getting towards is your career path and things like that, getting to where you're currently at now?
Well, it definitely continued. And, it kind of sparked from, doing things right. You know, if you're going to do something, do it right. And, you know, I like as far as the cars back then, you know, we did a lot of, you know, kind of street racing. But I mean, you know, we'd hang out in the cars and stuff like that. And, you know, I never wanted to hang out in a trashy car. And, you know, I always wanted to look nice and always kept it vacuumed and seats cleaned and all this stuff. And, you know, I guess, but a lot of that came from, you know, helping to build about 5 homes with my dad and his friends. We all built each other's homes. And, you know, they always taught me how to, you know, nail all the studs correctly
Yep.
and how to pour and level cement correctly. And, you know, make sure everything is level and make sure you had all the right angles and stuff like that. So if you're going to do something, do it right. And, you know, so that was kind of the baseline, I guess. And, you know, then I got into a lot of the detailing and total car guy. I mean, cars are everything, you know, and they still
Absolutely.
are to me almost, but not everything, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
But you know, so that's kind of how I maybe started my engineering career. You know, doing things right, doing things in detail. And I went to work for Spare Univac, which turned into Unisys. And actually, in the basement of the building I was in is where they started building the the stealth bomber.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
And I didn't know that back then. I mean, I had a clearance and all that stuff, but you know, I mean, different things went on in the buildings and stuff like that. So, you know,
Wow.
I worked on like the computer chip for the guidance systems for like the cruise missiles, the Wild Weasel aircraft, submarines, F-14s and stuff like that. So, yeah,
That is freaking cool. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's pretty
So how
wild.
long did you stay in that industry before kind of focusing? I know you do a lot of detailing now, but how long were you into the engineering side of things before kind of maybe working towards more just the final detailing side of things?
Well, I did both
You did
throughout
both.
my entire
Oh,
life, but
wow.
my career was 32 years, which nobody
My
really
goodness.
lasts that long. And but I did both. I mean, I had boats all the time. They always looked great. And cars, obviously. But you know, it kind of it stayed with me the entire time. I
Yep.
actually had the actual business for several years now. But I've done it all the time for my friends, family,
Mhm.
my own cars. But I would experiment a lot because
Gotcha.
you know I developed a lot of process, you know, technologies in my career. And you know, back in like 1999, I had a '98 GMC pickup, and I had to take it back for some work. The hood wasn't quite right or whatever. It's like I could do it, but you know, they went ahead and did it. But they missed an area, you know, on a big truck in the hood,
Oh
like
yeah.
by the windshield, that little
Yep.
area. They
Yep.
kept that really dull. And it's like, come on. Yeah. But I was always doing things by hand, you know. So I mean, you can get a rotary, and I kind of
Oh
worked it
yeah.
out myself. And from
Yeah.
there, I kind of really launched it into like heavy duty, where I
Yep.
would have my black my second GMC truck would be black, and I would take a real intense light, and I would have like different polishes and different compounds and a few different waxes. And I would take the side of the bed of my 8-foot truck and do one here, one there, one there, one
Wow.
there. And I would do various areas. And I would use the same amount of pressure, you know, the same technique and all that stuff. And I would take the light on it and just hit it on every single one and see which one made the black turn out the blackest. And that's what I would do my truck with.
Wow.
So
Unreal. That's good. So we got one of the questions from H&M Auto Dealer. What kind of engineer are you, Tim? Or what were you, I guess?
I'm mainly mechanical engineer, but
Mechanical.
it was all in electronics. So it's not electrical engineer. I mean, you know, I can build circuit boards and all that stuff. But so it was in the military electronics in for about 10 years, and the next 12 years was in medical devices where I developed
Did,
pacemakers and defibrillators and cardiac ablation therapy and
my goodness.
Went from military electronics. My former director came down and got me. He goes, Tim, all the pacemakers are set at one set point for beats per minute. So the EP would set it to like 70 beats per minute and would just stay there all the time. He goes, our company wants to develop the world's first adaptive rate pacemaker. He goes, I know you can figure it out. You come up and interview. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? I've never worked on any medical devices. He goes, no, it's okay. It's very similar to what you're doing now. He says, I know you can figure it out. So it's like, come up and interview. It's like, okay. So I was really nervous about that, and because every decision you make is life or death.
Yep. Absolutely.
For somebody, for many thousands of people. And interviewed, got the job, developed the highest tech part of that. Had a lot to do with an accelerometer, which there's accelerometers in a lot of devices now, but there wasn't back then, like 1990, 91 in that area. So developed the process, made sure it was robust, wrote up like the protocols to do the testing. You submit that to the FDA, did the testing, did the report, all the statistical analysis, submitted it to the FDA, and they approved it. And now pacemakers adjust with the movement of your body.
That's funny because in my line of work, we see that every day, and we ask, is it a demand pacemaker? Is it set? Because some people, I guess, still get the old school set it, and that's it.
Set the old
crazy.
So Tim, let's jump into. I mean, obviously you've obviously are definitely a master when it comes to polishing and master paint corrector. I mean, you do outstanding work, as we mentioned earlier. As you can see in your videos and the work that you do, and as you mentioned earlier, the amount of time you put and invested in the car and the cars that you do. If you what is your go-to? I mean, I'd like to ask some of the questions on your go-to when it comes to polishing. Maybe let's talk about your polish, your compound,
Sure.
and then we can even talk about, are you dual polisher, a rotary? Like what is your go-tos that make you perfected and bring in the results and the quality of work that you do?
Sure. As far as compounds, I use like a Phoenix COD Papa Cut, and actually another one I started using here recently from Fine Lab.
Oh.
It's the A50. It's super heavy duty cut. That one you can work for a long time, really long cycle time. Scholl's Concepts S2 is pretty good. The Scholl's Concepts S20 Black. This one, you like say, we're gonna get into it tonight.
Yeah.
The paint actually comes out just absolutely beautiful. Very strong, like a red is a very strong ruby red and all that, but it doesn't have a long cycle time. So I'll take this and I'll add some fabulous finishing polish. I'll put both of them on a pad at the same time. So the fabulous finishing polish adds more lubrication to this. So I'll put, 50-50 or 60-40 or 70-30 or whatever I feel I need, depending upon the conditions, and just put them both on the pad and do an area, see what works out. If I need more lubrication, I put on more polish. So, do that. What's that?
Didn't mean to interrupt you. Are you a foam pad guy or microfiber or wool pad? Or does it depend, obviously, on the application?
If I want to cut really hard, I use the Rupes wool. It's the DA coarse.
Yep.
If I use foam, almost like a one-step, I use the Rupes yellow.
Okay.
6-inch. It's got that good lip on it. The Zypher, the new Zypher pads that you can get at House of Rags. These are really, really good.
Those are the ones I'm gonna be using that I can't wait to use. I know Papa Smurf swears up and down. I know you mentioned it, and many people have said those foam pads are outstanding, especially the yellow and orange ones.
Yes, they're a little, as you can see, they're a little smaller,
Yep.
Mhm.
And the Rupes has the lip.
Yep.
These
Yep.
just have the slightest little bevel to it. I would like that to be a little bit more. It doesn't have to be that much,
Yeah.
because I can
Right.
take this and get in between letters really well.
Yep.
Ah, okay.
Cut on its edge.
And here's another thing I'm going to blow you guys' mind with is I do almost everything with the 6-inch. I
Really?
very rarely use a 3-inch or a 1-inch unless I have to get into tight areas.
Oh my goodness.
Do you just work it on its edge then, or because
Oh yeah, all the
are you using a
time.
dual action or are you using a rotary? I'm assuming
Both.
dual action.
I use both,
Okay.
but mainly dual action.
Okay.
The FineLab FineMach version 2. I mean, again, we're going to touch base on a lot of stuff here. I don't use my Rupes anymore.
Okay.
That was
It's
my question. Was machine
not
wise
as
a
good.
brand? Which okay.
No, the FineLab,
The
definitely.
FineLab.
Oh, I love it. It's quieter, smoother, runs like a dream.
Is
But
that a like a bigger orbit, or is it a like an 8 or 9 millimeter orbit?
21.
Okay, 21.
Yeah, they have 15 as well. So
Okay.
I have a 5-inch with the 15, which I haven't used too much yet. But
Gotcha.
I use the 6-inch almost exclusively unless I have to get into tight areas.
Huh.
Wow.
Then I'll use a 3 or a 1, but very rarely. You can take, again, this is the experimenting part. Take your buffer and curve it around and get in there, and up and down and sideways and all that stuff. And you can do it. You can really do it. I should take a video, but being an engineer brain, I mean, when I get working on a vehicle, I don't take breaks. I mean, I just like go all the time.
Yep.
And I really should be doing a lot more videos. I just haven't. But I mean, you can take a 6-inch buffer with a 6 3/4-inch pad and get in between those little letters like an element, like between the E and the L. You can curve it in there and get it in there really, really well. It's so easy. And I don't know if a lot of people do that or not, but yeah, it works great.
That's great. So the machine. So you initially you said a Rupes user, or that's what you used at one time, and now that you're not using that particular machine now. You found.
Well, yeah, I've got several of them. I mean, a long time ago I used the old Porter cable, but I mean,
Oh yeah.
I used Greek Garage for a while.
Yep.
They were all right. And at a SBTA cordless, which I'm not going to use anymore because there's issues with it. So I just bought a ShineMate cordless. So I'm just starting out with that. But yeah, I've had Rupes. I had to send it back a few times. They replaced it once and had to send it back again. And with this FineLab buffer, 0 issues. I use it like crazy.
I think that's one I want to try, because I have a Rupes and I sent it back once, and now
The trigger's messed up.
the trigger keeps breaking on them.
Yep.
Every single time, and it's like I can't keep sending it back, dude. It just doesn't do it. So yeah, I FineLab. So that's one that I know that Hawaii Tim was telling me about, because we talked about it. He's saying FineLabs, ShineMate or Shine was another one that he was recommended. So I need to look at the FineLab. If you're seeing it, I mean, because coming from someone that does as much as you do when it comes to paint corrections and polishing and buffing and things, if you're saying it's smooth, vibration, sound, all that stuff is pretty form, and that's good to hear. I mean, that's
best buffer I've ever used.
Wow.
You do any of the forced rotation stuff ever, like the flexes or anything like that, or no?
I purchased a forced rotation Hercules at a big sale at Harbor Freight, and I never used it.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard some people speak pretty highly of that. Actually, I haven't tried it, but
yeah, I haven't tried it yet either. I have it, sitting in the shop, but I just haven't used it yet. But yeah. So the rotary I have is a DeWalt. So
I have too.
Yep. Yeah, they work pretty good. But so we're gonna do a couple giveaways tonight, but I did send out a little teaser as far as
that was going to be one of my things, is that you're teasing everyone, and I can't wait to hear what the
Okay.
the mystery and secret is behind what Tim's got going on here. So, guys, this is a time to tune in and listen very carefully here.
Okay. All right. So, as you know, I like to experiment a lot. And so I was doing a vehicle, and you ever have those cars that you have bugs on the front of the car that they're just not coming off? You can use bug remover, and if you don't sit and scrape them with your
Mm-hmm.
fingernail, they don't come off. They're hardened bugs.
Yep.
Yep.
So there was a few of them that I had on a vehicle, and I was going to come back and scrape them later. And I was doing the inside door panels on the passenger side of a vehicle that had those. And I had a microfiber that I used an interior product was on the microfiber, and it was all moistened with it and all that. And I was walking by the front of the vehicle, and I saw one of those hardened bugs, and I just took the microfiber and rubbed it a couple times on the bug. It was gone.
Really?
Gone immediately.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
I've been removing bugs for decades. I have never seen a product remove a bug so easy in my life.
Really?
I have 3 different bug removers. They don't work as well as this one product. Do you want to know what it is?
Oh, the secret. We need to hear the secret.
Get the drum roll.
Get the drum roll. Here we go, guys. Woo!
Typhon.
That is my
Typhon.
favorite. Dude, if
That's
you would have
funny.
given me an option, I probably would have said Typhon or Kraken. Those two I
Mhm.
use nonstop. Those things are freaking absolutely amazing.
I
Really?
mix Typhon at 1 to 7.
1 to 7.
And I know you can mix it at 1 to 10. I think that's kind of the normal, but I mix it to 1 to 7 because I feel it works a lot better at 1 to 7 than 1 to 10. I'm very impressed with it at 1 to 7. And I thought, what the heck? And there was no residue. There wasn't a speck of residue. And it's like,
Wow.
what?
Wow.
So there was a couple more, and I went over and did those and went off right away. It's like, you got to be kidding me. There was a couple on the windshield because, again, this car sat out in the sun. These bugs were there for a long time. I went to the windshield, wiped it. Sure enough, gone. Windshield was perfectly clear. I didn't have to come back and wipe it or take a glass cleaner and wipe it down with a glass cleaner or anything. Gone. 100% gone.
Wow.
Blew my mind.
That's crazy.
Yeah, interior cleaner.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who knew, right?
Yeah.
I need to try that. So is that what you? So 1 to 7. That looks. What do you say? 1 to 10. I've been using by.
Well,
Okay.
1 to 10 is what's on the label,
Yeah.
and you can mix it stronger. It's totally okay to do that. I mixed it at 1 to 7. I was more impressed with it at 1 to 7 than 1 to 10. So that's what I mix it all the time with. And all you got to do is take your microfiber, just hold it an inch away, and just give it a couple sprays. So your microfiber has the Typhon on it, and just rub it on the bug. Gone.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wow.
I know.
Unreal.
Just it's
Aaron, the old Phoenix EOD with the home run again, dude. They always are knocking it out of the park, dude. That's
that's
great.
crazy.
That's
Yep.
unreal.
Yeah.
That's
So
really good. That's
mean-
Aaron's new marketing tool, dude. You need a nice video of Titan Tim taking the microfiber towel with Typhon and wiping the bugs away so that people can see the amazing
Versatility of it.
Absolutely.
I did make him a short little video, and I sent it to him on the windshield. And I said, this is its alter ego. It's just it's unbelievable.
That's
Funny.
It saves so much time. You don't have to sit there and scrape with your fingernail.
Yeah.
because you can use bug remover and just spray all over the front of the vehicle or whatever, and use your microfiber or use your wash mitt or whatever. And there's a lot of times still that hardened
Yeah.
bug that's left over that just won't come
Yep.
off.
And the
That's
problem
where
is that some of those bug removers are so high pH. If you're not careful, especially out here in the Phoenix heat, man, it'll leave streaks, especially if
Right.
it hits plastic.
Very true.
On plastic mirrors and stuff like that, it'll wreck them. So
Yeah,
that's
we can't have that.
no.
So
Yeah, that's you get your share of lovely bugs over there in the South Carolina area. I'm sure.
oh,
Just as,
it's horrible.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, and I mean, we're getting into the winter, so I mean, but it's getting the hardened bug from the spring, summer, and fall off.
Absolutely.
And this was just a couple weeks ago.
Huh.
So, but that's where the experimenting comes in. Experiment within reason. Don't do something ridiculous, but
Sure.
Yes.
feel free to experiment. It's worth it.
It is. I mean, I think that's what's interesting is that I think, there are so many different ways and things that products can be multiple uses and purposes when it comes to detailing. And I think, like you said, you don't want to go to the extreme level where you're damaging things. But like you said, you take it on a lower scale where it's something that can be used. And like you said, you used it simply on just a bug. And
Yeah.
look what it does. I mean,
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah, I was just walking by the front of the vehicle, and it's like, let's give it a shot. Boom. Like,
Dude, I think tomorrow will be a test with one of our vehicles of detail. So we're going to go ahead and take the old tight fin and use that on the bugs tomorrow. Give it a shot.
Awesome.
My question, do you wet the surfaces down and then use it? Or are you using it directly on the surface before wetting down the
directly on a dry surface. Yep.
dry surface? Okay.
Yep.
It's good to know.
Yep. Even on the windshield too. I mean, you have the light shining on the vehicle, and I say just rub it on, and it disappears. It kind of evaporates almost immediately. So
Wow.
there's nothing left over.
Wow. We got one here working on a combo with Aaron about, okay, with the height. Okay. Yeah, there is so many different things, even with the waterless washes. And, so many people have talked about that hydro and these things with being, depending on the dilution ratio, how amazing it is for window cleaner. People swear that it's an incredible window cleaner. I know Papa Smurf talks a lot about that, and that's something that I want to put and try to do is use that as a window cleaner. I know he swears up and down that it's great. The other thing is really good is I know that we're talking about is the Phoenix Prep paint prep, which is
panel prep.
Panel prep is absolutely made. That's another great window cleaner.
Helios panel prep.
Yeah.
Great stuff. That's really strong stuff. That works great.
When I saw it, I'm like, holy cow! It's like sticky almost. It was so bare.
Now, Matt, have you ever used my product on the glass?
Oh yeah,
dude. I use Tim's
out here.
I use Tim's high gloss detailer all day long. We actually have it. It's one of our glass cleaners that we.
He has it in a big.
I have it in a big old jug,
like distilled water jug, and he keeps in the back of his truck.
And then I have, and I actually am due to order more of those bottles because I just mix it on. Tim has helped me so much with the dilution ratio. I've been playing with it, putting it, and that's the nice part is you can play with it depending on how you want to do it. When I've got the concentrated bottle, but I've got it in 2 big sprayers, an IK sprayer, and we use it for glass. But I'll tell you, it is absolutely one of the most amazing, best detail products, especially here. And I'm sure, I know I got Eileen and a couple other people in the heat in those areas. It saves me in the summertime.
Yes.
On these dark black cars, I can go with, going back from drip marks to
smudges,
to, and doesn't leave any film, any kind of residue. It is unreal how well. I mean, I'll tell you, people don't understand how well it works on glass.
Yeah.
It is probably one of my top glass cleaners because I love, like you said, the inside smear. If people have that film or that foam, just from just not cleaning, or if someone vapes, or if they do whatever it may be that they have in that, it takes it completely off. cleans it clearly. It leaves no smearing, and then, as we should say, absolutely the best chrome polish.
Yep.
I have used it on chrome wheels, chrome bumpers,
Yeah.
and the amount of shine and what it does to the chrome is, I mean, I've got videos on my page of using it on big old dually chrome wheels. I've got it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's absolutely one of the best products. I really do. I mean, I
Yeah.
always
And
tell Tim, you just be sure that if anything goes and you decide to get out of the detail industry, you better have that down somewhere so someone can continue to use that. We don't want to lose that product.
yeah, nobody knows the recipe. Literally.
I
I
know,
mean,
that's the secret.
nobody, there's not a single person that knows how I mix it up.
That's
It's
funny.
And yeah, it's pretty well. I did it about 4.5 years ago out of necessity,
so amazing.
because a lot of the ceramic sealants and that sometimes I got to do a vehicle outside, sometimes in the shop, whatever is convenient for the customer. And I'm sick and tired of leaving streaks behind you. Do all this work on the paint, and you put some on top of it, and it streaks, or streaks a little, or streaks a lot, and it's
Yep.
like, come on.
Yep.
It's like, okay, I'm done with my career. Do I really have to develop a product? It's like, okay, because I needed it. I didn't develop it to sell it. I mean, I don't market it at all. I don't do anything, so I don't want to start a big corporation.
Yeah.
I just, maybe I should, but
That product's
But-
It's
amazing,
good.
dude.
It's good on Windows, man. Windows are so hard out here. People don't understand unless you've worked in heat. And when everybody says, "Oh, I got the best window cleaner," and then it'll look good when you're sitting in there, and then you're walking away at the end. You're like, "Oh my god, that window looks horrible."
yeah.
And
Well, I mean,
yours-
it
that
leaves
stuff doesn't do that.
kind of slippery too. It's got
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It leaves an incredible, smooth, kind of slippery, slick feel to it too. That's the nice thing. And any dark colors just brings that color out like there's no other. Like, and it doesn't, like, you don't have to use a ton of it,
No.
and it's just very easy with a nice simple microfiber towel, whatever, and just wipe it on. Doesn't, and it's really, really nice. One of the questions was, and I'll let Tim answer. I mean, I think everyone has the different dilution ratios. What do you recommend on the dilution for window cleaning? I know Rick was asking.
I mean,
I think it varies, but
yeah, I use it, full strength down to like, 1 to 20.
yep,
I've done it 1 to 100, and it still works.
yep.
I've done a little bit at 1 to 256 in that area. Still works well. Still flashes off. But I mean, you can use almost any dilution ratio. It's just like anything else. It's stronger when you keep the dilution less, and it's weaker, obviously, when you dilute it more. But it still works. Still works on the inside of the windshield at 100 to 1. And that's what frustrates a lot of people, is the inside of windshields.
Absolutely.
And this works really well. But I developed it for paint. I mean, the window and the chrome and acrylic and
Yep.
mirrors it's great on mirrors, bathroom mirrors, all kinds of stuff. But I was at a Mustang show this just like 2 months ago, and a guy parked next to my Shelby GT500, and he saw that I detail cars and stuff like that. He goes, "I forgot a glass cleaner. Do you got anything to clean the glass with?" And it's like,
Oh, do I ever?
yeah, I said I developed this for paint, but I mean, you can use it on glass. He'd like me to use it? He goes, sure. Because his other products were just leaving like a residue on the glass, and he's got this really high-end patriotic, like airbrushed, beautiful painted car that he puts in a trailer, takes it to car shows all over America.
Wow.
And he liked it so much, he bought a bottle and he used it on the paint, because I told him I developed it for paint. He comes up to me later and he says, "I can't believe this stuff." He said, "I have companies sponsor me." He said, "You just knocked out 15 other products and 15 other companies with this stuff." He said, "This car has never looked this good." And his
I
wife,
couldn't agree. I
wife
couldn't-
said the same thing. His son said the same thing. And he bought another bottle because he lives, a couple states away and that. And he said, you can order it on the website. You can just buy a bottle now, you see about a bottle now. And he said his car never looked so good. So
That's awesome.
Rick, I agree with you, dude. I use that on multiple clients' cars. I have quite a few black Mercedes cars, and you know how those are lovely. And I use those in the 110, 115 degree weather out here in Phoenix, and it leaves the most amazing shine. And it is such an awesome product to help you, especially in the heat. I mean, we struggle. I mean, I think anyone in the higher heated elements, it becomes very challenging, especially if you're in the mobile detailing side. If you're in a shop, maybe not be as bad, but being mobile and being out in the elements of the heat and the weather can be very challenging. And having Tim's high gloss, dude, it's a must. Like we used it today. I mean, we had a car that a guy was using because the windows were just nasty inside of this BMW. So we used it, and then we used it on a dark burgundy X5 BMW SUV, and man, it just pops that paint like there's no. You feel like you've almost polished the car. Like it's outstanding. It really is.
Yeah.
So
unbelievable.
Yeah, that product is. I think that product needs to be in a lot more hands. I know you don't do marketing on that, but my gosh, it is a product that you definitely should have in your arsenal of detailing products. If you don't, you are really shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, I sell it at car shows quite a bit. Because what people do is they bring their nice looking car to a car show. What's the first thing to do? They get out a quick detailing spray and a microfiber towel, and they wipe it down. Good or bad, but that's what they do. And a lot of times it's sunny, especially here in South Carolina, and I can just walk next to a car and just start talking to the guy in general. And I said, well, I have a product I developed. I can get those streaks out for you. And he goes, I said, you mind if I do a little spot? He goes, yeah, sure. So I'll just take this out and just a fine little mist. I'll do an area in his car, and streaks are all gone. He goes, you've got to be kidding. He said, nothing works in the sun like this. It's like, because all the products they say use on a cool, dry surface.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Most of them,
This isn't always practical.
So that's how I sell a lot of it. But I saw it on the website too. But I want to do some giveaways. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would be great. I think that product is I mean, it's up to you what you'd like. Tim, how long does it take to make a batch? How labor intensive is it? So Rick is asking how long it takes to make it, and then the labor intensive of what it does to make it.
Well, I mix it gallon by gallon, and I use distilled water, and then some chemicals that I put together. And from the time I take it out of a cabinet to the time a gallon is mixed, probably 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Because I use syringes. So I'll just put it, one chemical, I'll just put it in the little glass bottle, another one, little glass bottle, and I'll just suck out like 120 milliliters of one. That's all you guys are going to get. And
I love it.
Yeah, and I'll just, suck it out with the syringe and, put it in the empty gallon jug. I'll take another one in a certain amount and put it in there and all that, and add the rest of the gallon of distilled water, fill it up, shake it a bunch of times, put the cap on, put the label on, done.
Wow.
Piece of cake.
Wow. Unreal.
So, yeah, but let's give away a bottle.
Let's do it.
So you guys say a question. I don't care what it is.
Okay. So
lower 48
of the states.
Yep.
Let's go with I think you mentioned the first car that you had detailed. Let's see if anyone can remember the first car that you detailed. First car Tim detailed, the car that he had back in the day when he was detailing, and love to see who might remember which vehicle that might be. You tell me can you see the comments, Tim, or no?
Unfortunately, I cannot. I'm on my
72.
phone. Yeah,
So
yeah.
we
Go
got a
ahead.
72 Cutlass, Pontiac, Oldsmobile.
72 Cutlass Supreme.
There
All
it
right.
is.
So
X6.
yep.
All right, cool. X6 Ghost.
Yep, X6
Cool.
Ghost.
Sweet.
There it
Awesome.
is.
Send me a message on either Instagram or Facebook with your address, with your mailing address, and I'll send it out this week.
Cool.
Very nice.
Sweet.
Very nice. Congrats
Congratulations.
to X6 Ghost. Thank you. Good job. Nice job listening. And then I think Keith was right after that. Keith Fireberg was right after him, saying so it was a close battle and race there.
Nice.
So I have a couple questions. So let's talk about what was your most challenged vehicle when it comes to paint corrections that you have done. What kind of car was it? Color, and what did it take, and amount of hours or labor it took to get it to the level that you were happy or sufficient with?
It's hard to say one car, but we'll kind of zero it in on pure black Mustang. Not the ones with metal flake in it. You know, that pure Ford black, like GM black and all that. I mean, you can. It's hard to zero in on one car. It's almost impossible. But if they're trashed like crazy, I mean, sometimes you got to do wet sanding or not. But
Yep.
that's where those wool pads come into play. But you know, you got to purify the paint as best as possible. You got to use the right soaps, be it alkaline soap or be it more acidic to get some of the water spots, wear scars off, and stuff like that.
Yep.
But other challenges were like somebody would take a Brillo pad to a vehicle, and I've got pictures and video up of that where they take a Brillo pad to a black hood. But the challenge on these Mustangs is you can do a paint correction, you can do the polishing, but it's always going to have that ghosty haze to it unless you take a finishing polish. Even some of the normal finishing polishes don't quite get rid of that ghosting. So to answer your question best, why that's the most difficult, because I'm going for that extra 5%.
Yep.
I could have totally left it. You don't see that ghosting unless you have an intense light on it or you're out in the sun and you have a trained eye and you're actually looking for it. So the problem is getting rid of that ghosting. And you can't do that with microfiber. You can't do that with a normal foam. You have to do that with either like this CarPro polishing pad. They work really good. It's really soft. And it's got a good backing to it, so it makes really good contact. Or like this LG black foam. And between these two, this one finishes out slightly better than this with the same speed, same product, same amount of pressure, everything the same. You take this black Mustang and do one area with the CarPro polishing gloss pad and one with the Lake Country. As I say LG earlier, LC Lake Country. And that finishes out just slightly better.
Nice.
So if you're looking for that extra little edge, the black one finishes out just slightly better. But again, you have to have a trained eye to see it.
Yep.
So
Rick has asked you what your go-to pads are. I know you mentioned it earlier. I mean, I think it just depends. Like you said, it depends on the job. As you're mentioning, you showed many pads, but obviously the Rupes and some of the other ones that you've used on different cars too. Just depends.
Yeah, if I had to really, I mean, if I held my feet to the fire, if I really had to say what are the two pads I use the most, is the Euro 50/50
Yep. I love that pad.
and then the Rupes yellow.
That's yellow.
Because with the Euro 50/50, on some of the lighter colors, you can finish it down really well, but you can't on the darker colors. And that Honda Element did the same thing to me. I tried to finish down with it. And actually, believe it or not, sometimes I'll bring the vehicle out into the sun that's at the shop and take a look at it to see what I need to finish it off left with, what's left to do. And with the Euro 50/50s, if you're not using the finest finishing polish possible, it will leave those little tick marks.
Mm.
And, they're constant. They're all over, just the little tick marks if the sun is shining right on it. And to me, that's unacceptable. So I actually took that Honda Element and brought it back into the shop. And I used the Phoenix COD Fabulous Finishing Polish. And I think the black pad.
Yep.
And between those two, and I backed it out into the sun again, and it was gone. Put it back into the shop, shut the door, finish off the vehicle in that area. So that's what's challenging is, like I say, to answer your question the best, it's got to be that pure black paint.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine.
Are-
Rick has the great questions. He's always asking, "Hey guys, can you help me with the Euro 50/50? I don't get that great of results with it."
Right. You
What-
really don't. They last
Yeah.
a long time, but so I wonder what the issue is with not getting the great results. Is it either the haze or the tick marks? But probably if it's either of those two, you need to use a finer finishing polish.
Hmm.
Or get away from the Euro 50/50 for the finishing step. Just do an extra step with like a yellow or a white pad. Rupes white is great, or else the CarPro gloss pad or the black one from Lake Country.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
got a kind of, I guess, sort of a follow-up question related. When you're working, are you a clean on the fly kind of guy using like rags, or do you blow them out, or do you have a pad washer? And then when you're done with your pads, do you clean them and reuse them, or you just chuck them and that's it? Because I know
Okay, well, I'm
little
going to
spots.
blow people's minds again. A couple people may know, but say I'm doing a vehicle. Like I say, I'm kind of a bulldog. I just don't stop.
Yeah.
So I've got a bunch of pads with me, figure out what works. One starts to get, a little bit, too much product on it, or the result isn't quite there. I just rip off the pad, rip on another one, and go.
Yep.
So
And then when you're done with the job, are you done with them then, or do you wash them? And I know some people, they'll wash them in dish soap or whatever different things, microfiber cleaner, and air dry them and all that. Is it even worth your time, or do you?
yeah, I do reuse them a few times.
Okay.
The Euro 50/50 you can reuse a lot.
Okay.
Many, 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 many times, believe it or not, and it works just as good as a new Euro 50/50.
Gotcha.
So
What's your method for cleaning them? Do you soak
Yeah,
them
that
in
was
dish soap, or do you microfiber cleaner?
so
Laundry soap? I mean, I've heard
like-
different things.
yeah. So like that Honda Element 19, I had a stack of 19 pads. I know it's crazy, but so what I do, there's a lot of ways to do it. I'm trying to get some of the Renaissance microfiber cleaner from Thor and Detail Company, but they're out of stock. So what I've been doing is using kind of a diluted Dawn dish soap and the edge of my fingers. So I'll use some very warm water, almost hot, and I'll just take the pad, pour a little Dawn dish soap on the pad, and just take the end of my fingers. And I'll kind of rub it with a little bit of warm water. You can see all the polish and compound go off. And I'll squeeze it a few times, and then I'll put that on the other side of the sink. And I'll do all the pads that way, and then I put them in the washing machine. And I use the free and clear, which again I need to get the microfiber wash, but I use like Tide Free and Clear, or
You do a
Arm &
gentle
Hammer, any
cycle
of
so it
those.
doesn't tear them up, or does it even matter for you?
What's that?
Do you do a gentle cycle, or do you just
Yes.
okay?
Yeah. Gentle cycle, like 4 rinses.
Yep.
And then I will dry them at very, very low heat, the lowest heat setting. Or what I'll do is, believe it or not, I'm going to blow a lot of people's minds again. So I have a gas stove, and the grates are always clean. I put them in the dishwasher, they're always
Mhm.
clean. So I'll just, say this is the grate on the gas stove. I'll just set them, cover the whole gas stove. It's a very large one, and leave it overnight.
Yep.
And by the morning, they're dry because the air
Wow.
can get underneath.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And you got
Wow.
the air conditioning or the heat on, and it, blows air in the room, and it gets
Good idea.
underneath and it dries them.
Cool.
Works great.
They're asking
So-
the ranking of, or the ranks of the zero pads of I think the orange and yellow pad that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Where they rank. I guess Rick was asking where they rank. I guess Rick, are you asking ranking on quality or performance, or both? I guess.
So I can start on that. So I use the yellow more than I use the orange. So if I'm doing some moderate cutting, I use the Euro 50/50, or heavy cutting, I'll use the wool. But the yellow complies a little bit more. It's not as compliant as the Rupes yellow. That's kind of softer. This is just a little bit more firm, and it's thinner. So there's a little bit more power there. And the orange one is more stiff,
More dense from here.
but the orange one will not finish down on soft paint. So I could not use this orange one on soft, especially darker colors. Even with the finishing polish, you're going to have that haze. With the yellow, it will finish down a lot better.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Good to
Hopefully
know.
that answers the question.
I got another one for you.
They do have wool too. I haven't used it yet, but they do have wool. Yeah, go ahead.
Are you a paint thickness gauge guy?
I use them. I have one once in a while. I don't always use it and blow people's minds again. Papa Smurf says the paint talks to you.
Yeah.
The paint talks to me.
I know he told us he didn't use them either, so that's why I was curious. Just everybody's got their ways in there.
Some people may question this, but I can see how thick the paint is by looking at it. I'm not kidding. I can tell. I can look at a clean hood, and I can tell. I can talk to the customer and say, "There's not much paint left on this hood."
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking extremes. I'm talking just minute amounts. I can see the difference. I can look into the paint, and it's just got a different texture to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a different look to it. You can tell that there's more clear. And I can use the gauge. I have one, but I'd rather just look at it.
Yeah.
I've never burnt through paint in all these decades.
Well,
I've never have a problem, really. So I just use my eyes.
awesome.
But again, this is very person and technique dependent. Some people may or may not have the eye. Okay, if I have the eye, it's nothing about me. I mean, I've got a lot of, defects in my personality, obviously. It's just, it doesn't mean I'm, any better than anybody else, because I have my problems too. I can see into the paint. I can absolutely tell. I've just been doing this for so long. But again, in my career, I inspect microcircuits under microscopes a lot. I mean, anywhere from 10x to 10,000x. I've used scanning electron microscopes.
Wow.
I use microscopes and take all these little lines on the integrated circuits. They're 1 micron thick.
Yep.
I scan all these lines for many hours a day for weeks, months, and years, and look for defects in computer chips. So my eyes are trained that
it's trained for the very, very fine detail of things. Yeah.
It is.
That makes sense.
It's just my eyes respond that way, is what I'm trying
cool.
to say.
T4 Detailing. What's up there, Terry?
Terry.
Terry's in the house. He says sometimes you can lose yourself looking into the paint.
Pretty much.
Oh, love it.
Pretty much. Yep.
That's great.
Yeah. That is so cool. So yeah,
funny.
I'm glad Terry is here. I'm glad everyone else is here. If you guys can hit like, please, that would be
Love
great.
it.
And make
Love
sure
it.
you're subscribed to this channel.
Love it. Yeah,
'Cause,
go subscribe to Tim's channel. He's got his Instagram, his YouTube channel. Dude, he's got absolutely amazing content. Dude, I love watching his videos when he's getting into polishing, and the before and afters. It just blows my mind. I'm like, dude, I think I need a crash course. I'm gonna do set up a time where I can fly out to South Carolina and just shadow Tim and just watch him work, and I just see, because dude, you really are one that I'm just saying, you are one that I really admire when it comes to the paint working. There's a lot of great detailers out there, but just the time and energy that you put into these cars and the results that you get, man, it's just outrageous how dialed in that paint can get with what you do. And like you said, you're dedicated and you're a bulldog. You go at it. You're going to get it to where you are 100% happy and satisfied with it. And that's a difference, instead of just being mediocre and feeling like, okay, it's good. The client's not going to know any difference, but but there's more in the integrity of having it done properly, having it done right, feeling good and confident that you did the best and that you delivered the best product. Which I think means a lot. So it speaks a lot for you as well.
Well, thanks.
That element is phenomenal, by the way. I was just looking at it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he wanted. I mean, he's ran a buffer before. He said he wasn't very good at it. He's done cars. A guy, I just met him the day before that. I was getting the transmission fluid changed on my Shelby, and just met him at the shop and started talking to him, and he brought it over the next day. So, but before I forget, you did ask me what compounds and polishes.
Yes.
So we didn't talk about polishes. How about we give everybody some meat? And here's a question, and I want you guys to ask questions. Everybody in the chat, ask questions. Pump them out. I'm here for you guys.
Send them
if
out.
I had to have one polish, every other thing went away in my entire life. Every compound, every polish, everything went away, and it had to boil down to one. What do you think it would be?
Ooh, I'm gonna go. I know you use. That's a tough one. I know you use Papa Cut a lot for your stuff.
I use Fab Polish a lot.
Fab polishes a lot too. That's the whole Phoenix. But
Soul Concepts.
Yeah.
But it's not for everything.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with. I don't know. People are saying Fab Polish, 3D, Papa Cut. I have a question there. Sonex. I have a question. Do you ever use Sonex or Sonex?
The one polish that I would have to, if everything boiled down, because I don't do just like one steps usually too much.
Yeah.
If I had to use one.
Is that it?
There it is.
I have that.
Sonex Perfect Finish.
I have that one too. I have that one.
Good stuff.
It's a really good all-in-one, very pad dependent, very pressure dependent. And that people do a lot of YouTube videos. I watch just about everybody's YouTube's channel and stuff like that. And, it's hard to convey pressure down on a buffer. That is a huge factor in how you're getting defects out. I can use Perfect Finish, push down really hard with a microfiber or wool, and I can get out stuff like people get with strong compounds.
Wow.
Or I can use Perfect Finish and use this very soft foam pad, and I can finish it out really, really well, with the exception of pure black and very dark colors. And
Oh, look at that.
What happened there?
You
That
got
is
some
so weird.
fireworks going off over your head. That was pretty cool.
That was really cool. Look
I'm
at
not
Look at
that.
doing.
that.
I'm not doing anything. I
What
have
are you
no
doing
idea
over
why
there?
it's doing that. I'm just
That's
sitting
really
here.
I
cool.
think when you
That
put
is,
up your hand, it was doing that. That's crazy.
that's
That
real
is
cool.
really weird.
Keith
Well,
Firebird says he's actually the one that said it before you even announced it, the Sonex. So he was the winner of the of the name of the
that
product.
guy. He's good. He's really good.
Let's see. Tim, has he tried the Ammo X?
Foliate.
X
Ammo
Foliate.
exfoliate. Huh.
I've
I
never
haven't
used
used
that
any
either.
ammo products.
Yeah, I've never used that.
Never used that.
The other one I was going to ask you is what is the other one that I've used? I can't. Why am I losing
Mazerno?
my Mazzarno? Yeah, Mazzarno. Is that? Have you ever used that or used that at all?
I have not.
No.
The
It's
400 is
It's
Not
very,
another.
once.
it's very strong.
It's a very strong, very good product. I think it's Cerno. I think they're very good.
You
That's
know,
something.
another one that's really, really strong. I mean, it feels like sandpaper between your finger and your thumb. Extreme Solutions X1.
Mm,
They just came out with it
Huh.
last spring. I did some initial testing on it for them before they came out with it, and I used it on a gel coat boat, a big monster boat that almost killed me. That X1, you can use it outside really well, and it wipes off really well, but it's strong, but it finishes very glossy,
interesting.
and you can't use it on soft paint.
Oh,
Probably
okay.
good for a
It's
boat or an
way
RV.
too
though.
strong.
A
But
boat and RV.
if you have a Mercedes or a BMW, and if I have really hammered paint, my go-to is the Extreme Solutions X1.
You know.
I'm so frustrated I can't see the comments.
Oh, he's got this face
put it up on
like
the screen for you.
he's not very.
He's rolling his eyes back.
I know.
Oh, we know, Aaron. Hey,
I am
Aaron,
so
we
sorry.
know your product is the top notch. So ain't no harsh feelings, dude, because
Yeah.
you've got an amazing product line. I love it. I use
and
use it all day long.
yep. I actually haven't used it in about 2 months. I have it mainly for gel coat boats or like hammered Mercedes or BMW. Other than that, it's not good. Don't use it on the newer paints. Don't use it on a Tesla, for God's sake.
Oh, I hate this.
So it's not it's only for special situations, really. So only if they're really hammered. But Papa Cut does hammered paint really well, and it diminishes really well. So that's one of my favorites.
Papa
But
Cut.
yeah. Also, the ACA 500.
I've heard good things about
That's
that.
yeah,
I've never used
510
it,
is
though.
supposed to be way better. I don't have 510, but the ACA 500 from 3D, that one is really, really strong too. So
Yeah,
yeah,
3D has a few that
yep,
there's a few other ones that I've tried too, some Italian, some Italy products, but they're a little greasier. There's some of them that are just a little too
Really oily.
and just I don't know,
right.
puts too much on. I'm curious because I know a lot of people use. Have you used DIY's polish, the yellow polish?
I have not yet.
No, okay. I was just
Have
curious
not
if
used that.
your thought on that because you do so much when it comes to paint. I'm curious on your thoughts on. I've used it a few times on a few ceramic coating cars that I did some corrections on, and it worked well. But it's one of those that can be very oily. If you don't need a lot. I mean, very little to prime your pad and to use on the surface. But I mean, it works well. I'm just curious on what your thoughts were on it.
Yeah, I haven't used any spray polishes yet. I mean, that's yay or nay on that. You know, I mean, you're spinning the pad and you're spraying it. Well, if you don't have your initial distance and the pressure, I mean, you can go all over the place or concentrate it or whatever. Another thing I like to do is like the fab polish. I use this a lot. In fact, like 3 or 4 Instagram Facebook posts ago, you can see on that black vehicle that paint was really hammered, and you can see the bottle that I have it with the paint really clean. That was
Yeah.
just fab polish.
Wow.
So this is a finishing polish, but if you made it up with like the Euro 50/50, it turns into a very strong polish.
Oh, okay.
So what's interesting is I can finish a black Mustang with fab polish and like a black foam pad, soft foam pad. But I can also do that, like you see on the Instagram post, heavy defects with fab polish
And a
and a
50.
Euro 50/50 or a
Wow.
very hard foam. So as far as versatility, this one ranks up there big time.
That's really good to know. That's
And you can work it forever. Sonax Perfect Finish, you can't really work it forever. Fab polish, you can.
That's-
And then same with that Fine Lab, that A50 Fine Lab. This one works forever too.
Huh.
So
I'd like
yeah,
to try. I've never done Fab Lab on Fine Lab. I've never done any of that. I should try it. There's so many out there. My gosh.
I know.
It's like, dude, you can just get lost into
And I've
the
got so
product.
much stuff too. It's like I want to try these new ones, and I buy a lot of new products, but I've got so much. You know, it's like, oh my gosh.
That's how I feel. I got my
But,
shop, my garage has got chemicals aligned with. It's like I try to use them, but it's like, dude, it's okay. Well, what am I going to try this time? What am I going to use this time? It's like my vehicle has got my trailer and my truck, and it's got stacks of products just ready to be used. It can be challenging sometimes. But so Tim, Titan Tim, I mean, maybe help. Where does that name come from? I mean, some people, most of everyone probably knows, but Titan
well,
Tim.
it does not come from Titan from Phoenix COD. Actually, Mike of Mike's Auto Detailing, he started calling me that.
Yeah.
Ah,
He's the originator of Titan Tim. It
gotcha.
wasn't
Because
from
I think
me.
there was a lot of myth that people. Well, I'm assuming, but people thought it had to do with Titan Tim, Titan, and the product, but that's completely separate from.
Totally, yeah. And since we're talking about Titan,
I love that stuff.
every single car I do gets Titan. Every car, bar none. It'll either go on the paint, but it always goes on the glass, on all the windows on the outside, all of them. So side windows, windshield, rear window, everything,
I love
without
that
a doubt.
It's good stuff.
That stuff's amazing. I mean, another great and incredible drying aid.
Yep.
I told Aaron, I've been using it for so many years now, as long as they've had it and I've been able to use it. Man, I use it and it leaves an incredible finish.
Yeah.
Coming back and cleaning the car makes it so much nicer. It leaves an incredible product protection, shine, smooth finish, glossy finish. That is a really, like you said, that's a really good product, and it can be used on everything. Like that's the thing. It's like it's not like you got to be limited to what you use it on.
And it's so darn slippery.
It is. It's slick, so slick. It is so slick. Plus, he said. Plus, it smells fabulous. It does smell.
It does.
It
Oh,
does
God.
smell
That's
good.
what I was going to say.
It smells really,
I'll open
really
the
good.
bottle and smell it every once in a while.
Oh,
But the thing about that is, when I ceramic coat a vehicle, either when I'm using Immortal or Kronos for the ceramic, if I don't have to, send out the car too soon, I put Titan on top of the ceramic,
oh, okay.
and I'll wait. I'm not exactly sure what I haven't seen any testing results. I'm not sure exactly how long you're supposed to wait from Kronos to putting Titan or Immortal putting Titan. I remember asking Aaron a while back, but I'll wait like 12 hours at least,
Gotcha.
and then I'll spray it onto microfiber and just lightly apply it over top of the ceramic on a vehicle.
Nice. I was going
So
to
if
ask you
I'm
how long. Some
yeah,
people
so if
said
I'm
Keith
done,
was saying 4 hour, 2 hours. That's
yeah,
actually
I've
good to know.
I've done it like 6 or 8 hours, but usually I like to wait 12 hours.
Yep.
But that would be a good one to actually do some testing on.
That would be a good
So
one.
another thing I do different, and for people to consider too, is I'm kind of switching over from doing like a ceramic sealant after a paint correction. I'm switching over to do like a 1-year ceramic coating.
Oh, okay.
So almost all of them I'm doing Immortal with. So you see a lot of pictures like the Element.
Yep.
You see the picture with Immortal. 95% of them is with the 1-year ceramic coating, and people really like that. So people watching live or on the replay or whatever, it's something to consider. You can offer it as an upgrade because Immortal is only what, I don't know, $60 or whatever, something like that,
Yeah.
and you can get around 15 vehicles out of it.
Wow.
So if you divide that down, it's not expensive. So you can offer that as an upgrade, in 1-year ads or whatever. You're going from a 3 or 4 month sealant to a 1-year real ceramic coating.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been so popular with people I discuss that and bring that up with.
Yep.
I mean, it's a winner every time. They go, "Oh my gosh, really? Okay." And I got the job.
So you're doing, my question to you is, when you're doing that, I'm assuming, and I would think that you're going through the whole process of prepping the vehicle. Are you doing paint corrections too and all that stuff and then applying? Are you doing it as doing like an enhancement and then adding that? Or what is on that 1 year? Are you doing the same procedures as if you were doing Chronos or 5, 6, 8, whatever coating that you decide to use?
Yeah, so I'm doing the 1 or 2 step paint correction.
Yep.
And then the 1-year ceramic coating.
Gotcha.
So yeah, either one. Anytime I'm taking the a pad to the paint, I usually put on the 1-year ceramic coating. I did have one client that all they wanted me to do was to wash it, not buff it, and just put on the ceramic coating.
Oh, okay.
So about a month ago, that I had one vehicle where that's what they wanted, that's what they got. So yep.
Wow. Okay. And applying it, you find just as easy to apply that as it is to apply the Chronos or any of the other coatings that you use?
Well, here's another way I'm going to blow your mind is I don't apply Immortal the same way I apply a ceramic coating.
You don't? Okay.
So I'll take the Immortal and I'll spray it into a microfiber. So I'll just fold it into 4s. I'll maybe put like a little 1 in the corner or something like that. I'll just spray the Immortal into the microfiber. And then like on the hood, I'll do like 1, 2, 3, or 4 sprays of Immortal on the hood. And I'll take the microfiber and just buff the Immortal onto the panel
Okay.
with the microfiber. I don't use an applicator block.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And it works great. And I actually have proof because 2 years ago, I did a Ford Ranger with Immortal. And he keeps it in the garage at nights and some days. 2 years later, I went back to do a refresh on his Mustang Bullet, and he said that 1-year ceramic coating, he said it's still on there.
Wow.
And yes, it was. And I was there in the morning, and it still had dew on it. And I have the picture on my phone. I'm doing this on my phone right now, which is frustrating me. But if I was doing it on my computer, I would call up my phone and I would show you the beating of the water on that hood on that Ford Ranger. So I took a picture of it, and it was done just about 2 years. So Immortal kept in the garage, not always, but every night, but some days, and they use it quite a bit too. 2 years later, it was still on there.
Wow.
And that's applying it with the microfiber.
Wow. So are you doing it pretty much in sections? Are you kind of like, if you're doing, say, the hood, do you pretty much do the whole hood and then you go back and you buff it off? Or what usually is your method of doing it?
Nope. So what I do is I always start on the hood, and then I work down the passenger side,
Oh, okay.
and then I take a second microfiber and I go back to the hood, buff it off the hood. Very easy, just like buffing on off anything else, like Titan or my product or anything. And then buff off the passenger side. And then I'll start spraying it on the back of the vehicle, work up the driver's side, and do the roof. The
Okay.
roof I do at the end. But the back and the whole driver's side, as soon as I get to the front quarter or the front of the vehicle,
Yep.
then I'll go to the back and wipe it off.
Oh,
That's how I
okay.
do every single vehicle with Immortal.
Very cool. I'm
So,
gonna try that. I'm gonna have to.
so the
I know
amount
that-
of time that it's on is, I don't know, I've never really timed it. 4 minutes maybe, something like that.
Yeah, you can probably work around pretty quick doing that.
Yeah, it wipes off really good. You can see that that discoloration
Yep.
with the ceramic. It wipes off really, really well. And if you have a high spot, you can come back. One time, I missed a high spot, and it was quite a bit later. It's like an hour later, and most of it came off. But when I have a high spot with regular ceramic or Immortal, well, didn't really have to do with Immortal. I just use my product. Just take a little bit of the fat polish, and just put a tiny drop on a microfiber. Just rub it real lightly, and the high spot comes off immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
And it doesn't affect the ceramic whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that works great.
Wow. That's great.
Yep.
No,
applicator pen.
that's one I want to order. I thought I had a bottle. I need to order. I want to put that on a car and try. I've seen different people use it. I know you are one that I see a lot use it quite a bit. So it's interesting to hear your technique and the way that you apply it in the results that you're saying you're getting, which is really good. And I think it's a great idea when you're saying, upsell is a term, or encouraging people to do that instead of a sealant, because longevity, you're getting a little bit more and better protection. And you said, there's some of them that are getting longer than, obviously care and taking of the protection too, longer than a year. So I think that's
And really, the hard work's done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
you're saying you're getting quite a few. I mean, that's quite a few cars out of one of the bottles of the Immortal. You're saying you get that many cars out. Wow.
Yeah, about 15.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of cars.
Yep.
Wow.
Definitely. It
that's
goes very
impressive.
far. So in general, say, when I'm first starting, 3 or 4 sprays into the microfiber and like 2, 3, or 4 onto the hood. And then like the driver's door, I'll just do 2 sprays. Passenger door, 1 or 2 sprays. Rear quarter, 1 or 2 sprays per panel. So you do initial 3 or 4 just to get it onto the microfiber, but goes all the way around that way. And there's like 3 or 4 up on the roof, and that's it. I'm done. Wipe it off. It's all done.
Wow.
It's
So
so
you're
easy.
only initially doing about 3 or 4 sprays on the microfiber the first time, and then you're not prepping or you're not priming the towel. You're using the same towel, and then basically, like you said, 1 or 2 prep or sprays per panel, roof a little bit more, but
Same spot on the towel.
yeah.
All the way around. Yep. So I'm not prepping the microfiber again, really. I may do it once or twice if it's really hot outside, but not necessary. No, that's how I do it.
Wow.
Works great.
It's impressive. That's Aaron. Looks like I'll be placing an order because I can't wait. I want to put that on because we do a lot of sealants out here because people are bought into the whole ceramic sealant era, and we know there's a ton of those out there, and some of them say they longevity hold up a little longer, some don't. Who knows? Again, everything determines on the maintenance and the cleaning and prep and how you care for the car. I've always said, you can promise the world, but if the car is not cared for properly, nothing's going to sustain. It's not going to perform.
I got the perfect segue for that.
Tyler, I know you've got some stuff going on. If you need to go,
no, I'm good for a little bit. I'll let
we
you
can
know.
hang it. We can hang it up here real quick. But I wanted to say is another really, really way to sell your product. Say somebody's offering a sealant or something like that. I'm an authorized distributor of Phoenix UD products.
There you go.
So when somebody comes over and they see their car, they see that you nailed their car, you talk to them about the ceramic coating and maintenance. I said, it's up to you. I don't pressure anybody in anything. You know, you can go to an auto parts store or Walmart. You can pick up a ceramic sealant. I said, you know, Titan is rated number 1 or 2 in the world. People have done
Yep.
testing with it. I said, you know, for like $15, if you like to buy a bottle, it's great. If not, you know, just get one or use whatever you have, and you know, just make sure you maintain it a few times a year. And they almost immediately buy a bottle of Titan. So
I don't know how someone would not want that product. I mean, that is it's such a universal product that can be used so easily, and you don't have to be. It's not complicated or difficult to use. Anyone can use it. You get a nice clean microfiber towel. It's easy to use. You spray on. You're able to wipe it off. It gives you outstanding results, and it's so easy. It's not. You don't have to worry about having high spots or this and smear. Like, I don't know. It is definitely, and it works well. I mean, I use it in all elements from cold to hot, and I never have a problem with it.
right.
Never
Yeah,
have a
and
problem.
it sells so well. And you know, if the person is a do-it-yourself type person, I'll mention, you know, what type of soap they're using, and if they're
Yep.
using like McGuire's Gold Class, or if they have quite a bit of soap, you know, I won't mention anything to them. If they're kind of curious, I mentioned, you know, I'm authorized to sell Phoenix COD Apex Auto Wash, which is a really, really high-end soap, pH neutral. It's got a lot of lubrication in it.
Yep.
And, you know, so they'll buy that. So most of my customers do buy products.
See, that's a huge,
Yeah, that's
a
cool.
huge point. I mean, especially when they've seen the work or seen the results and see the product at hand being used and seeing what it does to you. I mean, it sells itself. There's not much.
Right.
You really don't have to, just like anything. I mean, if the product is performing and doing the things it needs to do, it sells itself, you know,
Yep.
and you don't have to sit there and try to convince anyone of a product or the results that it's going to perform or do
Right.
for them and their car. So that's a huge.
Definitely. Yep.
So Tim, I have a question. So is Tim, are you going to Mobile Tech at all or no?
80 to 90% sure I'm going to go.
You better. I am
Positive.
booked. I'm going to be there Tuesday night. You better show. I'm telling these people, everyone better show up. I'm telling you, you guys better show. I've been waiting for this. I'm like, you and Hawaii Tim and all you guys. This, you know, everyone says that Aaron's going to be there.
I gotta go.
Look who's even there, dude. Andrew.
Who's there? Who showed up?
Titan Tim.
Yep.
Ask him
Yeah.
everything.
I have got to go.
Andrew.
I'd like to drive. I've got a 2011 Shelby GT500 with a glass roof. I bought it with only 4,200 miles on it like 8 months ago.
Oh, wow.
So I want to drive it down there
Oh,
and then take you guys out for a ride. But I don't
That
want
would
any door dings in the stupid parking lot, you know?
how
I mean,
long?
this
How
car
far
is
is that for you?
flawless.
How far drive is that?
Like 7-8 hours, if that.
Oh, that's not.
Oh,
too
that's not
bad.
too bad.
That's not
So
too bad.
I may drive my other car. I may fly, but almost positive I'm going to go. Yep.
Good,
I've kind of had
good.
a couple health issues I've been dealing with. So
Yes,
that's why
I know that
say,
you.
didn't
Yes,
say 100%, but
you got to take care of yourself first. That's the most important. Your health
Yeah.
is most important, and all the other stuff can come after. But that's no, it would be. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I think it's going to be a blast to see, to finally put faces with names and hang out. I mean, you know, Hawaii Tim and I, we converse quite a bit all the time, and I'm excited to meet him personally, and you, and you know, as well as Christopher from BioBomb's going to be there. I can't wait to see him, and
yeah, I know.
Aaron. I
Great.
had the chance to meet Aaron, but I can't wait to see him and break bread and have drinks and enjoy each other's company. And I think it'll be a blast. It'll be a great
Yeah.
time. So,
Yeah, I was at the Southern Detailers Conference, so I met obviously Aaron and Papa Smurf. That guy's great, you know, and then Brian from Apex Auto Detail, and you know, Brian Fab, and you know,
yes.
then obviously Phil Miranda. I actually went to Miranda's house once, and we compared a product similar to mine. We did like a side-by-side comparison on a hood. And we did a wash and talk. So if you go back, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years on Phil Miranda's YouTube, you can see a video of us.
Well, that's funny.
That's
And
great.
kind of did a wash and talk. But anyway, yeah. So
That's gonna be a blast.
I'm almost sure I'm going to go.
All right. Well,
So
I know everyone's got things going on. So, but dude, if you can make it, it'd be an honor to spend and spend time. I think it's going to be a great time to look forward to.
You guys as well, yeah.
It will. After the episode, I'm not going anymore. You can go with what? What does he say? After this episode, I'm not going anymore. You can go with BB. I don't know what that.
What's that? Who is that?
With B&B, is that B&B blending?
God,
is that what he means?
Who's that? I have no
That's
idea.
Aaron. Aaron
He might be wounded. He's wounded over the polish thing, I think, still.
Oh, after this episode, I'm not going anymore. You can go with BB.
I'm sure he's joking.
Oh, Aaron.
I don't know anybody there.
BB blending.
I didn't know they do Sonax. B&B.
Oh,
no. Do they?
There's no way.
I don't know.
No. Sonax is made in Germany.
That's what I was
going to say. I thought it was overseas somewhere.
Yeah, Germany.
I don't know.
Made in Germany. Yep.
I think it may be the.
Oh.
I think BB blending. He's mad because everyone made fun of his dancing.
Oh.
That's Keith Barber. Tim mentioned. Oh, that's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking. It was Tim mentioned extreme.
Oh God.
Oh, got it.
Oh,
that makes
and
sense.
Andrews, we got Andrew. I will try to go. AFD talent.
Sweet.
Right, that's
great.
No, I think it'd be great.
That'd be
Anyone
awesome.
that can go would be awesome. I obviously didn't get to make SEMA this year. Maybe next year will be my goal to hit there. But I think this Florida, the mobile tech thing is going to be fun. It's going to be a little bit more relaxed and more quaint. I think SEMA is awesome, and I think there's a lot going on there. It's just hard to dial in. There's so much going on there. So I think this is a little bit more manageable. I think it'll be fun though. But
what I should do is I should get a booth at Mobile Tech and inform people about the product for outdoor.
Tim, hey, I'm going to go and I'm going to volunteer my time of being a sales rep, and I will go to and sell that product. That product needs to be in everybody's hand. I'm serious. It has to be. Like, that product should be. There's no reason why that should not be in people's hand. I mean, I know Eileen hadn't used it. And I swore to her. I said, dude, you got to get it. You got to get it because you're in Palm Springs, you're in the heat. And
it's horrible.
Then she was able to get it. And she's like, dude, this is a life changer. I said, I told you it is absolutely a life. I mean, it really is. That is probably one of the top 10 products I would go. If I had to pick a product, that would be one of the top ones I would put, because it can be universal and it can be used. I would use that all the time, just because it's such a great product. So, guys, I know a lot of you guys use it, but I mean, I can't say enough. Like Tyler said earlier, I've got gallons in my truck, and I got IK sprayers full of it, and we just go to town with it. So,
I sell a concentrate of it too, because I didn't want to ship people gallons. It's like, why don't I just buy a small bottle, and mix all the components together and just ship that out, so it can save people in shipping and stuff like that. So,
no, I think that's what I think. It's time to get another couple concentrated bottles, because that stuff. Because you can, like you said earlier, the duration of dilution percentages and things that you can play with, depending on how you want. There is no right or wrong answer, and it works well all ways. So it's definitely a good thing. No, Tim, I know it's getting late. Your time too. I mean, it's late.
Let's give away another bottle.
You want to give one more? All right. So one last giveaway from Titan Tim and his generosity and his honor to give his incredible product. Those that have not used it, you're crazy not to use it and not to order it. But if you haven't, this is a great opportunity to get yourself one. So, Tim, if you want to ask a question, unless Tyler wants to ask a question, I'm happy to.
I'm thinking of something, but if you got one, you can go for it.
Do you have one that you want to?
I got a real easy one, but it's almost too easy.
Hey, it's easy.
If you got a hard one, go for it.
Let's see. I'm gonna think of one that we can. Let's see.
Well, let's not use this question yet, so don't nobody answer yet. We could use what product goes on every car, no matter what.
That's a very good question.
Want to use
like
it?
that one.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think it's a great question.
Do it.
So for the finale and the giveaway of the incredible Tim's high gloss detailer, the question is, what product goes on every car that Tim services and provides? Look at that. All right.
Can't be the same person. Lower 48.
You got Keith Firebird.
Keith Firebird.
Titan.
Number
is
one.
the man.
Goes on every car.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
Titan is, man. Keith is the winner.
Sweet.
That is great. Guys, it is an incredible product, but Titan is definitely hands down an incredible product too as well. Aaron, Phoenix EOD, dude, you put an incredible product line. I appreciate your support in the product you put out. I know that we talked quite a bit. I know Tim uses, and many of us use your products, from the Typhon to the Kraken to the Papa Cut
amazing.
to the Fab Polish. We can go on. I love the Apex soap. It's one of my top ones that we use. I have gallons of that. We use it all the time.
Hydra version
Hydra.
3.
I just got some of that actually.
That is
mine just came in. I think I just got another one, so I can't wait to put that to work. So again, awesome products, and you definitely can't go wrong. So it's incredible products. But guys, those that have been here and spent time with us this evening, I really appreciate it. I know we're trying to get this podcast up and running. There's a lot going on in the detail community. I know there's a lot of podcasts going on, which is great. I know that House of Rags have got a lot going on, and which is awesome. They've got a lot of great people doing their individual podcasts, and we're excited to support them. We're hoping that Sundays going forward will be beneficial for people, so we can attract other people to come and share time and share experiences and knowledge and stuff in our podcast going forward. So we will continue to have our podcast on Sunday evenings and be able to allow others to be on as well. Guys, those are in the comments. We would love to have all people on. We are not restricted to just having certain suppliers or product lines. We would like to have everyone be a part of the podcast. Come on, be a guest. Let me know. Send a message to myself, Christy, or Tyler, any of us, and we would love to have you guys on and share your stories, share your experience, your journey, your knowledge, what you bring to the detailing, or what you enjoy about the detailing. So we are a very open family. We want to grow this as well as anybody else. And I think there's so many people out there that have so much knowledge and experience that we can all learn from. And I don't think that we need to be limited to how we learn or what we learn from. And I think tonight we were blessed with a lot of knowledge from a very, very well experienced, talented detailer, Tim. And I say it very truly, and I really would enjoy spending some time with Tim, and I definitely will. I think that's going to be one of my list of things, is to be able to come and spend time. I would love to watch you dial in these paints and really perfect. I mean, I do it, but I'm not to the level anywhere close to you, and I would love to get to the point where I can feel, hey, I can see the paint, I can dial in, I know what it needs to be done. I can have the paint talk to me. I'm not at that level, and there's no fear of saying that, because even if I have been detailing as long as I have, I think I can always learn and always be better. And I think someone like you that has had the opportunity to dial in and continue to dial in and use such a verse of polishes and compounds and pads and really get the results that you do, I think it'd be incredible to have that ability. So stay tuned, because I plan to make an opportunity to come and pick Tim's brain and maybe see if he's available where I can come out and spend time with him, because I think it would be a blast. It really would
That'd
be
be
a good
fun.
time. But Tim, you definitely are. You've got a huge impact on the detail industry, and I think it's amazing what you do. We appreciate the energy, we appreciate the time and efforts that you put into and what you give back. Your product's amazing, and we appreciate you spending time this evening with us. We want to have you back on, so
Thank you.
I think it would be great, when we are able to get you back on again and have you. I think it would be fun. It's never. I think it's always an opportunity to continue to learn and grow and find new ways. And I think as the things that we're learning and playing with, there's so much to grow from. So I hope that you are able to make it to Florida, because it will be an honor for me to be able to spend some time with you. So I look forward to that. Guys, thank you very much. As we always do with our episode, I'd like Tim to share something that is meaningful to him, or something that he could share that maybe we as individuals can go back and implement in our lives, our personal lives, our families, detailing businesses. Doesn't have to be detailing, but something that is meaningful that you've lived by, that you feel is important and it's made an impact in yours. So I would ask if you don't mind sharing something that you could share with everyone that you live by, maybe a statement, maybe whatever it may that's helped you or that you continue to live by.
Sure. Kind of multifaceted, but treat everybody with respect and talk with your customers at their level. Help them understand what you're talking about. Use analogies. They work really, really well with people that, don't understand, what you're doing with their vehicle. Be truthful. Tell them the truth no matter what. They can see that. They can tell you're being genuine with them. It means the world. And as far as the detailing aspect, don't be afraid to experiment within reason.
I agree.
Try something out. Take that extra moment. Go, what if I use this? And like what we initially talked about. What if I use Typhon on a bug and it completely removed the hardened bug? If I didn't try that, I never would have known about that.
Nope.
So no matter what you're doing, don't be afraid to experiment and try something new.
So true. I mean, coming from a very knowledgeable and very experienced and very well known and liked and products and results, can't say it any better than Titan, Mr. Tim himself. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this evening with X's and O's and Extra Mile. We really appreciate it. We are going to have our next episode. It'll be the 1st of January. We're going to kind of take a break through the holidays because there's a lot going on with everybody. But to keep you informed, we have Mr. Jamie the Cleaner coming on at the 1st of the year. So we are super, super excited to have him and come on. And there's so much that he has done. We've had him on our previous podcast, and we're excited to have him on and share all the things that he's done and doing and in the future that they plan on doing when it comes to the House of Rags and all the other good stuff that he's doing. So we really look forward to that opportunity. So stay tuned. Have a great, great holiday, everyone, and a great New Year's. Be safe, be healthy, and thanks for joining Extra Mile Mobile Detailing. As always, happy detailing and stay fresh. Have a great night.
See you guys.
Take care.